question.
Inspiration grows here. The Minneapolis Home and Garden Show runs March 5th through the 9th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. 5 days only to shop, compare, and save with more than 500 home experts. Plan your visit and save $2 on tickets at homeandgardenshow.com.
The Home and Garden Show. The Home and Garden Show. Watch tulips, daffodils, and chrysanthemums growing at breakneck speeds at the Home and Garden Show. Be there, be there, be there, be there.
Let's run a few Brad, Sean, Brian, KFAN text line, text 64686 before I move on to a couple of other topics or subject matter. This one says, Lavelle E. Neal III commented on 9 to Noon that he knew it was ridiculous when he said it. He was just exaggerating to make a point. Well, I don't believe it, but even if it's true, too bad. I shouldn't have said it. Team Canada has been 26-0 in best-on-best competition with Sidney Crosby until they lost to Team USA in the second round of the Four Nations tournament. That's 26-0, big deal. 459 straight dual matches, come on. And talking about records that will never be broken, Teneby, let me see if you agree with these. This one was
I'd like to know what that all consists of. Has Sidney Crosby played in 26 of them?
I don't know. This one says...
the counting World Juniors.
I think another record that will never be broken is 50 goals in 39 games like Wayne Gretzky did. That's pretty impressive.
A lot, but that could happen.
Yeah, it still is impressive. Here's one that says, regarding Cy Young, 511 wins in 20-plus is 511 wins is 20-plus wins over 25 years. You are correct that it will never be touched. Heck, even 511 starts in someone's career is impressive. Most starters pitch about 30 games a year. If they stay healthy, would take 17-plus years at that rate to even get to 511 starts. So, yes, I mean, it goes without saying. To me, that's the one of all the streaks records that will never be broken. To me, 511 wins is the one that's virtually, it'll never happen. It just can't, unless they change the rules of baseball again. This one says, saw a couple of stats that tell you a couple of things wrong with today's baseball. 28 complete games pitched last year. 28. There were 622 in 1988.
Oh.
28 complete games pitched last year, 622 in 1988. And only 6 teams last year had a team batting average of 250 or higher. It does make for a tough watch at times, of pitchers getting pulled after 4 or 5 innings and becoming a bullpen game, and players are not making contact with the ball. I love baseball and basketball, played both growing up, but I really struggle to watch both sports at times. I guess that's true too. Those are some of the streaks that will never be broken. Before the program is over, we'll give away tickets to the Lakefront Music Fest for Friday, July 11th. That's Rock Night. Foreigner will headline along with 38 Special and Loverboy. Also, over the next few days, not only on the Common Man program, but the Power Trip Morning Show, we will give away tickets for Flop, Sweat, and Tears. Just a handful of shows remaining in the comedy season. Friday shows, 7 o'clock doors, 8 o'clock is the show starts. It's at Forgotten Star in Fridley. You can go to ForgottenStarBrewing.com to find tickets or take your chance on winning tickets for this week here on the Common Man program and on the Power Trip Morning Show. Teneby, the last movie I saw in a movie theater was Kung Fu Panda 4. I saw that earlier it would have been actually last year. So it was when both boys were back for spring break. Their spring breaks happened to coincide, or maybe it was just summer. Maybe they were just back for summer. But we did go to the Inver Grove Theater. That's where I learned that they actually have recliners now in movie theaters. And you can actually add your own butter. They have like a butter station for your popcorn. So instead of that person turning around and putting a little more, no, not quite, no, you just do it yourself. Mm-hmm. Right? prior to that, a movie that my wife and I went to that wasn't kid-related, I think it was Beautiful Mind back in, was that 2002? 2003? It's been a long time since we've been in a movie theater, other than kids' movies. I've been to hundreds.
It's 2001. Hundreds?
Yeah, well, dozens of movies. I went to one Saturday, Tennessee. My wife and I have a new strategy. Instead of going to a movie at like 7 o'clock and then dinner at 9,
yeah,
we went to a matinee at 2:20.
Yeah.
And then we went to dinner at 6, and I was back home sitting on the couch at like 9 o'clock at night. It was just terrific.
The earlier, the better.
Yeah,
I like taking kids to like the 9:30, 10 a.m. shows on a weekend.
We went and saw A Complete Unknown. Now you should do.
I was trying to think of...
Yeah. The Bob Dylan.
You don't know the name of the movie you saw?
No, A Complete Unknown.
Yeah, I just don't understand how, like, you just got done watching it for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
2 hours, 20 minutes.
You don't even remember the name of the title of the movie. It makes zero sense.
Somebody else came up with they sent me a script. I told them I'd send it to rewrite and punch it up because we were talking about those. This one was about, I say, Tennessee, do you like America? And you go, of course I like America. And it's about the band America. And then it goes, well, what do you think about Asia? I'm more of an Asia guy. What do you mean you're more of an Asia guy?
Genius.
Yeah, it's very good. So I'll dig that out of my archives and bring that up. It's really good.
Get Africa in there, Europe.
Yeah. It's so good. So anyway, and again, I mean, the reason I went was the subject matter. I've always been a Bob Dylan fan. I don't know if you know this, Tennessee, and I didn't learn it until the movie. He's from Minnesota. Did you know that? I had no idea he was from Minnesota, and all of a sudden in the movie, they mentioned that he's from Hibbing.
That one.
No
Minnesota.
idea.
I didn't either.
From Hibbing?
Yes. Up in the Iron Range.
I thought he's from Bemidji.
I didn't even know he was from Minnesota. I thought he's from the Bronx, So, in the latest entrant into the Country Radio Hall of Fame, Greg Swedberg, in the coroner's office here, vice president of programming, iHeart Minneapolis, asked me a week or so ago, hey, have you seen A Complete Unknown? I said, you mean meat sauce? And he goes, no, the movie A Complete Unknown. And I said no, and I decided to go see, because my wife and I wanted to get out of the house, right? And I liked it. I enjoyed it very much. It was, and again, let me just back up a little bit. I'm a Dylan fan, but it's not like, I'm not like, what's the word? It's not like, oh, he's the greatest thing ever.
They call it a stan.
A what?
A stan.
What's a stan?
It's like super fan.
Oh, really? I'm not a stan. I'm not a stan. I don't feel about Bob Dylan like you do.
Tupac Shakur?
Or no, isn't it Julie Ingridson? What's her name?
Ingrid Michaelson?
Ingrid Michaelson. I'm not to Dylan what you are to Ingrid Michaelson, but I do like him. It was really well done. The kid does a great job. It was one of those things, I told this to Swedberg. When you go, now I'd never seen, is it Chalamet? Is that how you say his name? I've never seen him work before. I don't know. I have no idea how long. He's young. I don't even know how many movies he's been in. But, you go to a movie. How often do you go to a movie, especially when it's a movie about a real life person? It's not like a fake movie like Rambo, or First Blood or Rocky. It's a historical figure, a real life person like Bob Dylan. How many times you watch a movie and you still can't go, well, that's not Bob Dylan. He looked so much like him and sounded so much like him that I actually, for a couple of times, forgot it was actually an actor, and I thought I'm watching Bob Dylan. The only problem when you come out of it, I found myself talking like Bob Dylan. Hey, we probably should get home and get ready to go to the restaurant pretty soon. What are you going to have to eat tonight? Should we valet park?
I'm guessing your wife.
She was a little annoyed with it. But then
It's not like you to keep just doing that over and over again either.
But then she started talking like Joan Baez. So it was weird, but we really enjoyed it. I'm as Mark Rosen would say, go see it. So did you hear Rosen told me? He's not on the air. He enjoyed it so much he actually bought tickets to go see Dylan in Mankato. He's going to do like 3 shows. Here's what the problem is, and I can see why I wanted, because when you watch the movie, you get really excited about a young Bob Dylan. The Dylan you're going to see in Mankato, God love him, but he's 83 years old and he mumbles most of the time.
Yeah.
So again, it's not going to be you have in your mind the young Bob Dylan just starting out playing the Newport Jazz Festival or whatever jazz festival or folk music festival, whatever it was. And you're just not going to see the same one. But nevertheless, I did enjoy it. We'll come back. We got
controversial Vikings news on the other side of the break.
On the other side of the break. We'll do that next on the Common Man program on the Fan. I mentioned earlier, Tennessee, that my source was telling me Montgomery Golf Club, the Beatles golf course down in Montgomery National, will be open tomorrow. Public and parochial, though carts and caddies will be 2 hours late. Refuge will open on Friday. I just received this text message courtesy of the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. Pioneer Golf Course is open tomorrow at 11 o'clock with a shotgun start.
Oh, my gosh.
Pioneer is out in on the west side of town over by, why am I so? Windsong Farm, over by that Windsong Farm area. So there we go. Timmy, I've always wondered why this never makes any sense to me. That something that a member of the media says will make headlines.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the really important national guys that people, I've never understood why there would be headline. Maybe in this case, because it's Stephen A. Smith, who is very popular, right? And he might be is he maybe the most popular television talking head in the country right now for sports?
Yeah.
He might be the most.
I think he's number one.
And he's probably the most successful.
He's really good at it.
He makes a lot of money. Baby Brother Peter loves him. And Baby Brother Peter gets the bit too. He just, I think Stephen A. Smith plays more of a character than anything. And he's smart. He knows, be out of your mind and really believe what you say and get angry and bitter and people love it. What's Stephen A. Smith going to say now? And I guess in this case, the reason it made a headline, it's on one of the prescription services I go to is sfgate.com/warrior. It's about the Golden State Warrior Club. And I guess it's because Stephen A. Smith had something to say about and he's admitting he was something you can't do. He admitted he was wrong. Headline, ESPN star, I was wrong about Warriors' Jimmy Butler trade. Says it only took 5 games for Golden State Warriors and new star Jimmy Butler to get ESPN's Stephen A. Smith to change his tune about the blockbuster trade's impact. The morning after the trade, Smith tried to downplay how much Butler would help the Warriors on first take. Not the second take, not the third, but first take. Saying he was refusing to call it a mega deal and effectively downplaying its impact. But on Sunday's NBA Countdown 3, 2, 1, countdown to the NBA. Smith said he was wrong. He was like 10-B, hard to say he was wrong. I think I was wrong when I first spoke about this trade. Miracles do happen, is what his co-host said. You actually admitted you were wrong. Apparently Smith had his doubts whether Butler and Steph Curry could mesh on the court, blah, blah, blah. They're 4-1 in the 5 games they played. And I saw something on the crawl up here. It said Butler 3. Is he now calling himself Jimmy Butler the Third? I've never seen that before.
I haven't seen that either.
I'm guessing he is Jimmy Butler the Third. He's decided, you know what? Yeah. I want to be called Jimmy Butler the Third. And I tried to tell people, and here's what's crazy. Where's my headline that says Common Man Dan Cole from KFAN was right about Jimmy Butler? Why don't I get that
Before
headline?
Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith was wrong because he doesn't understand hoops as well as he thinks he does. And he watches. Think about this. He had no idea that Butler and Steph Curry would click together. And he watches hundreds of games a year. I never watch a game, and I could have told you that. It's not that complicated. Jimmy Butler, whatever you think about his approach or his attitude, or there are people that thinks he just destroys teams. I don't believe it for a minute. Anywhere he's been, he's had success. Have they won it all? No, but anywhere he's been, the teams have always done extremely well. And well, I guess maybe not here so much. But with him, didn't we make our first playoff?
Yeah, we weren't in the playoffs before him.
Yeah, isn't that funny? And if you're reading, I mean, does Stephen Smith not? He must pay less attention than I do, because the stories were that Steph and Jimmy Butler talked, and Steph was excited about it, and Butler was, and now you have and again, we know a lot of these players takes a lot to get them engaged in a game. How many guys right now tend to be on the teams that are out of the playoff picture have basically given up on the season? They really have. I mean, I'm not saying they're not giving any effort, but if you think NBA players oftentimes only go at 3/4 throttle, there are guys now that the season's over. They know it, right? And especially if they're already secure that they're going to stay in the league. I mean, I know there's guys out there that go, I better keep playing hard because I got to have a contract for next year. But there are teams that have given up. Now, Butler's engaged. So is Steph. This is what we talked about. Steph and the guy that's going to end up broke because
Draymond
of all
Green.
the fines that he's incurred during his basketball career. He's not made enough money.
It's not set up for wealth.
No, it's not. You know that. Steph and Draymond playing right now for one reason and one reason only, and that's to win another championship. Yeah. They've got 4 already. They're not just playing hey, we'd like to make the first round, and if we could bounce, that's still a successful season for us. So they're all in now. Now, does that guarantee that the West is tough? We know they're deep. And the Wolves are a quality club. And then you got the Joker and Murray in Denver. You've got OKC. You've got the Mavericks could still surprise me. The Lakers right now, you saw where, and what, I wish Rosen was here. I'd like to know, should I call him Doncic or Doncic? Because Rosen likes to go back and forth with those names too. Let's go with Doncic today. Doncic had a couple of pretty mediocre, I think it was a couple of mediocre games with the Lakers. In his first couple of games, and then the other night he was just brilliant again. He had, he had 25 or 28. I think he had like a triple-double or a double-double. And LeBron loves it. I think it's kind of revitalized LeBron a little bit, because LeBron is kind of in that same boat where he is, he's playing now just to try to win another ship. He's 40, 41 years old. I mean, it's his, again, he's got more behind them than he does ahead of him. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm guessing with the Stephen A. Smiths of the world and all the other national talking heads that Jimmy Butler's probably misunderstood to a certain extent, right?
Yes.
He's had so many off-the-court antics. We saw it here in Minnesota when he wanted to demand a trade and get his way out. We just saw it recently in Miami when he wanted to get out and wants to get contracts and get paid, that he does a lot of stuff that makes it look like he's all about Jimmy Butler, right? It's a me. He gives off the perception it's me. It's all about Jimmy Butler. We've seen him. When he's on the court and he's playing within a team, he's not a selfish player.
Right.
Right. Like, he's doing all the little things to win basketball games. So the idea of, well, he's not going to be able to, him and Steph aren't going to be able to figure out the chemistry standpoint. Jimmy Butler can play with anyone as long as they have the same desire to win that he does. And Steph Curry has that desire to win.
Well, here's the thing, though,
so
Timmy.
It shouldn't have been hard to figure out that it was going to work between the two of them.
Well, here's the thing, though, Timmy, that you'll probably forget. It's going to take time for them to gel. That's what's just so preposterous. All the basketball community in town, the Wolves apologists keep telling me, "Oh, you just have to wait for Randall and should we go with DiVincenzo or DiVincenzo? Which one do you want to go with?" I wish Mark was here, so I could ask him. Let's go with DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo and Joel. We just got to let them. Well, how long does it take? Oh, they're going to take 20 games or so. Common than 20 games. If they're 40 games, it never happens. So these guys played together 4 games and they're playing. It's like they're Stockton and Malone.
Players know how to play with players.
They're like Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello. Stiller and Mira, Sacco and Vanzetti, Sauce in Common. By the way, we're working Friday night at Forgotten Star. Go to ForgottenStarBrewery.com to get your tickets. You'll get a first beer with that ticket purchase. And oh, by the way, Tennessee, I'm being told on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line is 64686. He changed his name to Butler 3 after his father recently passed away. So to honor his father, he's now Jimmy Butler III. Not the second, not the first, but Jimmy Butler III. More on LeBron when we come back. And then I'm going to pick my way through a couple of other topics as well, including the Wolves and some other things too. And in a crazy base, this could fill up. I should even maybe save this for tomorrow because it could fill up a whole segment. Plenty to get to is what I'm trying to say. We're fine with show prep today. We'll be back after this here on The Fan. Couple 13-14 past here on the Common Man program on Common East Tennessee. Let's do that giveaway. Rock Night at Lakefront Music Fest. It's back. It's bigger than ever. It's Friday, July 11th is Rock Night, headlined by Foreigner. Feels like the first time. See, here all their greatest is. Feels like the first time. Hot-blooded, and I Want to Know What Love Is.
Oh, great song.
With support from 38 Special, Hold On Loosely, and Loverboy, loving every minute of it. Tickets are on sale right now, but they're going fast. We've got your tickets right here. Be the 11th caller to win a pair of tickets for Rock Night. Call now, 1-800-320-5326, 1-800-320-5326, and you will be a winner. From Foreigner, 38 Special, Loverboy, the Lakefront Music Fest, and all of us here at The Fan. So, I was looking at, I remember I was going to mention LeBron James again, because we just talked about, earlier, he's come up a couple of times today, including during the preposterous statement tournament. And LeBron not making a preposterous statement, but people making preposterous statements about LeBron James. And then how he and Doncic are really starting to click, especially with Doncic actually having his best game as a Laker, and it's early. It's only I think he was out for the first after the trade. I think he missed the first game or Laker game or two, and then he's back now. But this was brought to my attention at comment at KFAN.com. One of the many listeners who I go back and forth with on emails. If you'd like a response from me, all you have to do is just email comment at KFAN.com and we'll chat. I mean, not like voice to voice, but email to email. It was about J.J. Redick and what he had to say about LeBron James after a recent performance. This is the height of another example of the idolization and pedestalization of athletes. This is from Sports Illustrated. Headline, J.J. Redick was in awe of LeBron James following 40-point performance in the Lakers win. Story reads as follows. LeBron James has seemingly taken the criticism of his last-minute opt-out of the NBA's 2025 All-Star Game to heart. Playing in his second game in as many days, James tallied 40 points on Thursday night while adding 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and leading the Lakers to a 110-102 win over the Portland Trailblazers. The victory brought his LA team to 33-21 on the season and also left coach J.J. Redick in awe. Now, there are quotes around what he said, so I'm assuming they're accurate. He really just defies anything that's normal and not just physical feats and plays. It's the mentality. He is a billionaire, and he's playing on the second night of back-to-back at 40 after 22 years. With every frickin' record and every accolade. And the kids will say that I'm glazing him. He's one of the greatest competitors. He's amazing to coach. He brings it every single day. He sets the standard for how you're supposed to approach this craft. And that, to me, is the most incredible thing. I didn't realize that's what it's called. When you're idolizing and pedestalizing, it's called glazing. Have you heard that, Tenneby?
I have not, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, this because Reddick says, and the kids will say I'm glazing him. He's one of the greatest competitors, and he's amazing to coach. He brings it every single day. He sets a standard of how you're supposed to approach this craft. And to me, that's the most incredible thing.
So next time you see my eyes glazed over in here, it's not that I'm not listening to you. I'm just idolizing and pedestalizing you.
Hold on. Let me give you a...
I'm just in awe of what you just said.
Much of what he said is true. He's a billionaire. He's one of only... Isn't that number there are only 4 athletes that have made $1 billion or more? It's LeBron, Jordan,
Tiger
Woods, and then someone else. I think it was one of those soccer players, like Messier or Gretzky, whoever he was for hockey. No, Gretzky played. You know who I'm talking about. Doesn't really matter. So we know he's a billionaire. That much is true. We know he was playing on the second night of back-to-backs. We know he's 40 years old. We know he's been playing 22 years. We know he's been glazed. He's been given every accolade there is. We know he's a great competitor. He brings it every single day. He sets the standards.
It was Ronaldo was 3.
Ronaldo.
Arnold Palmer, number 4.
Arnie Palmer. Okay.
Jack Nicklaus, Lionel Messi, David Beckham.
Are they all billion?
There's a bunch over billions. I mean, I'm assuming it's more than just on the field, on the court.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it's almost as if he's suggesting with all the money, and it is a back-to-back, and you've had the accolades, that it would be only human nature to take the night off. And we know a lot of guys do that. I would say, though, LeBron's not the only great basketball player or baseball or football or hockey, whatever sport, that gives it everything, especially when you're talking about it is just basketball. You're playing a kid's game, and what else does he have to do? He has nothing else to put all of his energies into other than, I guess he probably has an investment portfolio that's quite immense and needs a lot of attention, but he's got guys to do that for him. He probably has other business propositions that he's involved, business interests that he is involved in. And I tip my cap to him. It's great, but it's like the idea that that's what I wouldn't expect anything less. To me, it's like he played really hard on back-to-back nights and scored 40 against the Blazers. Or wait, no, sorry, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one. That's what he should do, and so I admire him as well. But I think sometimes, again, we just the idolization and pedestalization gets to be a little over the top.
I should. The ones I was reading to you, I didn't realize they were inflation-adjusted earnings. Oh, inflation. So obviously, going off of era. So Arnold Palmer did not get to $1 billion. He made $885 million. But Michael Jordan, $2.7 billion. Tiger Woods, $1.85 billion. Cristiano Ronaldo, $1.57 billion. LeBron James, $1.36 billion. Lionel Messi, $1.36 billion. David Beckham, $1.13 billion. Federer's over $1 billion. Mayweather and Mickelson.
Yeah. Jukebox Hero. I forgot about that one. Somebody wanted me to make sure we did Jukebox
I like
Hero.
it better when you do the bit when you sing them. I love that, yeah.
I do. I think we're going to start doing that all the time.
Except for when we have to read the bands that we don't know who they are and what songs they've done.
I'm scrolling, Tenneby. Robot umps. Been a couple of games now where we've had robot umps. The players are loving it because they're not going to do it during the regular season. This is only exhibition season only, and then I think what they'll do is Players Association will meet with, I guess, ownership in the league and the commissioner and decide, do we want to do Robo ump during the regular season in 2026? I get the feeling they're going to do it. I think they're going to do Robo ump. The way the rules are, it's sort of like the challenge flag in football. You're allowed 2. You can challenge 2 times. You can challenge a pitch, a call of a ball or a strike. If you are successful, it's not like, well, you've used one. As long as you're successful, I think you can challenge as often as you like. I don't know. I didn't see anywhere where there would be a limit. So if you say, hey, that wasn't a strike, that was a ball. They look at it, it's a ball, then you still have your 2 challenges. Players were just loving it. I think they were even going a little over the top with it and even challenging ones that maybe weren't as challengeable just because it's fun. And the quotes I saw from the players, they love it. It was fun. It's like, and I get it. They look, I say, no, that was a ball. That was. But then I saw other quotes when people started talking about what if this became part of the game. Part of the issue is and I've not seen it happen, Tenneby. You were at a minor league game where it happened,
St. Paul
right?
Saints, yeah.
Do they get a second to think about it, or does does the batter at the plate right away get to challenge? Like, I want to challenge that right now. Because in other words, what if? Because every batter is going to think a strike that was close was a ball. Same with the pitcher. Matter of fact, I saw part of the story was they really don't want pitchers challenging because pitchers don't have as good an angle, and every pitcher's going to think he hit a spot. So you waste your 2 in the first inning. The guy's challenging right away. So does the manager have to make do you know?
I think the manager does,
okay.
Yes.
So that would help because you just don't want the guy at the plate making a knee-jerk reaction. I want that challenge. It's like, dude, it was a strike. It wasn't a ball. You just didn't see it right, and you lose one of yours.
Because I think it's also the pitchers can challenge
right. Well,
too,
that's
right?
what I was just saying is you don't want the pitchers challenging because the pitcher, from what I read, was their angle at it isn't as good from that far away. And, of course, a pitcher's always going to think he hit a spot, right? That's just the way it is. So pitchers can even do it as well.
My guess is they have some sort of coach watching, like, the TV video of it, seeing it cross, and then I don't know if they have some sort of Tom Brady ankle buzzer that they put on the manager and let him know. I don't know.
But what I like best of the story, and it's a couple of paragraphs, and I'm not going to read them for you, but they are admitting what I've always said, Tenneby, that the strike zones by the umpires are just all over the board. And you and I have had that discussion. I've asked out loud here on the radio station. I've asked you. I've asked other people, the Lavells of the world, and others. Why is it that it's just accepted that an umpire can make up his own strike zone?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I know that wasn't a strike, but I know he was trying to hit that spot, so I'm going to give it to him. To me, it's so preposterous. It's almost like if a wide receiver makes a brilliant effort to toe tap and get both feet in and just barely touches the white line, where the referee says, I'm giving him that catch because I know what his intention was. That was a great effort. That's as good an effort
my
as you're going to see.
interpretation of it,
So I think I'm going to give it to him. And it's like, well, no, you can't. It's either a ball or it's a strike. And then what it went on to say, Tenneby, and I didn't even think about this, but the strike zone will change dramatically on a 10-2 game in the 7th inning or 8th inning. It's 10-2. The other team ain't coming back. We got to get this game over with. So it becomes really liberal.
Yeah.
So now it's like they're calling strikes all the time because they just want to get the game over with. The ump's tired. The players are tired. Everybody knows. At least that's the way I interpreted the way it was wrote, which makes it even more preposterous that they can have any type of strike zone they want. No, I like the way he, and same thing, the pitch framing is the one that's, matter of fact, pitch framing, as you and I have discussed, it's basically cheating is what it is. Or you're trying to cheat anyways. You're moving the ball in. But everybody, all the ball guys say that the baseball community thinks it's wonderful. It's just been part of the game and blah, blah, blah. Maybe it is. I don't, it's again. But by the way, can I preface everything? Everything I talk about in sports, I really don't care as much as I make it sound like, because I really don't care that much. But it's my job is to pretend I'm outraged, that I'm really into it and I really care about things. So I'm going a little bit over the top here. But you should be, if you catch the ball in the outfield and then bring it in, you should be punished. That's 2 balls. The umpire should be able to say, I saw what you did there.
In other sports, you get punished for flopping, for taking a dive. That's what they're doing in baseball.
That's exactly what they're doing in baseball. That would get them to stop that pitch framing BS. That's just preposterous, because I still can't believe.
Your baseball guys love the pitch framing, though. They would never give that up.
Oh, they love it.
Yeah.
It's an art form, tend to be.
But you ain't going to be able to out-frame the Robo Ump.
No, you can't out-frame Robo Ump. So I'm actually all... I think I was against Robo Ump. Was I against Robo Ump? Do you remember what I was for? I think
most technology things you're against.
Yeah, I think I was against Robo Ump for a while.
You didn't like pitch clock either.
No, I didn't like pitch clock.
I love pitch clock.
Well, I thought it was going to ruin baseball. Just like I thought having a calendar on my phone was going to ruin my dates. I thought memorizing phone numbers, I like doing that. So, no, I like pitch clock. It has, I mean, the one thing I will say, if you go to a game and, you know, the time doesn't matter, because I remember saying this and people thought I was insane. If I said, I can be at a ball game, I don't go often, but back in the day when I did go to the game, I could go to a ball game, say it's a 7:10 first pitch, right? 7 o'clock first pitch. 6:40 now, right? So let's say 6:40. And let's say it gets to be about 8:40. This is before the pitch clock, right? It's 8:40. It's a weeknight. It's 2-2. It's a really good game. 7th inning. I'm going to go home. What do you mean you're going home? It's a great game. It's 2-2. What do you mean you're leaving? You're not going to wait till the end of the game? No, I don't care that much. I'll find out in the morning who won. Or I'll watch the sports news on the 10 o'clock news and I'll find out. And people just find that. So in other words, if a game went long because the pitcher wanted to do the old step behind the rubber, you know how they take the ball and they spin it in their hands to get the, you know, try to get it so it's
a better grip.
Yeah, get a better grip on it. And then they'll get back in there and they'll touch different parts and they'll sit there and they'll stare in like that. And then the hitter will go, wait, hold on. Now, I'm glad that's gone, but that didn't bother me as much as it bothered other people. That's why they made the changes, because people were furious about it. They're saying this is taking too long.
Well, the worst is you get to playoff games, and all of a sudden those things are going 4.5 hours.
And even regular season games, wasn't it like the popular opinion was regular season games with Red Sox and Yankees for some reason because they hate each other. It's so serious. It's sort of like Duke against North Carolina or whatever, you know, where you got these storied rivalries that it's so damn important that you have to. If it takes 4.5 hours to figure this thing out, because we can't lose to the hated Yankees and we can't lose to the hated Red Sox. So if a game takes 4.5, 5 hours, that's just the way it goes. And but I think people did get sick and tired of that. But yeah, so I guess I don't mind seeing the Robo Ump thing. I think it's probably a pretty good idea, and I'm all in. Last thing for you, Tenneby, regarding baseball. By the way, if you've heard this before, stop me, which means you're about to stop me. Somebody sent me a list of all 30 major league teams and how much money they've spent via free agency over the last 2 seasons.
Yes.
Right? Number one on that list, the LA Dodgers, $1.46 billion. Billion, not million, billion. Last is the Marlins at $5 million. Second to last, the Twins, $8 million is what they've spent. Total.
Now, hasn't that changed? Because we did this exact story like a couple weeks ago, did we not? Yes.
No.
We did a couple weeks ago, and they've since signed a couple free agents since then. But still.
But I bring it up because there's, you know, the topic that won't go away, and I understand it, is should there be a salary cap and a salary floor, right? Because a lot of teams aren't spending any money at all, right? I mean, there are teams that are just like the Twins, like the Marlins, like the Rockies and the Rays. These teams that just aren't spending any money. They're only concerned about trying to sell as many seats. They would sell more seats if they had a more competitive team, I'm sure, but they've decided it's almost like a protest. It's almost like, well, you know, and what I don't understand is because, you know, if they got together with it doesn't seem like the owners really want a salary cap or a salary floor, and the players certainly don't want a salary cap. I think they would like to have a salary floor at some point. But the complaint is that the Dodgers is of the world and the Mets is of the world and the Yankees is of the world and all the other major markets can outspend you and they can buy themselves titles. And as we know, that just doesn't happen all the time. Now, I did last year. Dodgers won a World Series and they spent the most money in Major League Baseball. But that doesn't, if you look back on the past 20, 25, 30 years, I think I read somewhere that only like I think 4 seasons, tend to be in the last 20 or 25, has the team with the largest payroll won the whole thing. That's it. And then it also depends how you spend your money. The Dodgers, I think, are pretty good at spending their money. The Mets have no idea how to spend their money because the Dodgers spent $1.46 billion over the past 2 years in free agency. Mets $1.02 billion. So maybe a half a, they're close. It's not that big of a difference when you're talking that kind of money. And the Mets have made postseason play, but they also fail miserably at it.
Sure.
So I think it occurs to me on the surface, the Dodgers are probably just smarter when it comes to spending money. Because we do know one thing is the Dodgers will spend money on pitching. And the Metropolitans don't really do that. They seem to put their money in more, we're going to outslug the other team. And that's one way to go about it. But Tenneby, what did the late, great Dark Star once say? If you pitch and play defense, you give yourself a chance to win the ball every night. And so the Dodgers also pitch. They don't just play defense and they don't just hit, they also pitch. And so I think all in all, would the league be better if there was a salary cap and a salary floor? Yeah, I suppose. I responded to another guy again, and I've done this on a number of occasions. The Twins are running it back from last year, basically, right? We signed 2 other guys. Otherwise, we're running it back from last year. Last year was, until that collapse at the end of the season, last month of the year, the Twins were basically 90. They were lead pipe cinched to make postseason play. You look at their team overall, Tenneby, and you look at the talent on the everyday lineup and their pitchers have the bullpen, you go, that's not a bad club. It's really not. It's a pretty good club.
When healthy.
When healthy. And that's why you and I have always said we do that age of the Aquarius. If they would have signed like who's the guy that I always want to sign that won Cy Young in both leagues now? Wheeler. The Wheeler character, right? Sign one guy like that for the 3 years, $75 million a year, and just give yourself even a better chance. If it doesn't work, and then back off for a while, and then step on the gas a little bit. They refuse to do it. How much more interest? And here's another thing. When there are people, you think I'm cynical? There are people that think the Twins really only announced that they were going to sell the team just so they would sell more tickets to the beginning of this season because people would be excited about no Polacks. But who knows? Thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. I enjoyed our visit with you today. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 noon, Rosen at 2. Big ticket, JG, there next year on The Fan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.